Okay, so it brings me to my next question. So why do you guys think there are so many murders? Like why so many? Like we're ranked #1 now. What's going on? You guys have any opinions on that? What's the reason?
Like we talked about, like we were just talking about earlier, poverty, education. I would say a majority of the time there's no two-parent households. A lot of those different things. No family structure, right? Play into the whole thing to where guys don't have that guidance. They don't have the guidance that we had. You know what I'm saying? Coming up, where it's like, nah, you don't do that. That ain't how we live. They answer to the streets. Those guys, they living by a so-called code. It's a so-called code of the streets. It's a different code in the streets where it's a whole nother set of rules. Like some people go to church and got the church rules. The street has its own rules, and it's like right. And common sense wise, for most people, that's not what it's supposed to be. But it's like this is what people choose. Who's behind the gun? They choose to go for it and choose to be a part of.
Okay, so have you guys noticed any patterns like I don't know, times of the year, seasons, weather, whatever? When are the most murders happen that you've noticed?
It's all throughout the year. It doesn't even slow down even when it's cold outside.
But some is the hardest hits.
But it used to the hardest hit, but it still doesn't stop. Even in the winter months, it's a continuous thing. And again, it goes back to what Q was saying. That has everything to do with family foundation, them not having respect for life and just morals and values that hasn't been instilled in them. So when you don't have that, if you have a weed, it's just gonna keep growing and growing and growing and growing, and that's all it is.
Until you cut it.
Right now, we just got a bunch of weeds out here.
Way to kind of cut them.
Right.
So about these guys, I don't even want to just say. So who are these people behind the smoking guns? Do you think? Like what environment do they come from? You guys kind of already talked to us, but expand on that a little bit. Like what environment? What are the ages do you think these folks are? What income level? What?
I got even a story. Like recently, I was talking to a friend of mine, and it's one of them things where like it's a 15-year-old boy, mother and father been gone. He was what they call a crack baby, or from drug family. Okay, the baby is already mentally supposedly not prepared, ADHD, whatever the case is. And it's like, okay, he's out here on the streets. First, he's with this person who has no legal rights to him. Okay, no legal rights. Nobody has legal rights to this child. This child is a 15-year-old in the streets, period. He looks up whenever somebody helps him out, whether it's with a meal, whether it's food, clothes, shelter, anything. He gets into it with his grandmother, or a lady who he calls his grandmother, which is like a godparent or something. He gets into it with her. Now she kicks him out. He has no place to go. No place to go. What you think this boy gonna do? Like if you thinking in math terms, you got 0. What do you have to do to add? Or multiply. And usually when you out in the streets, you learn the street code. Period. Now he's out here. They even told the police officers. A friend of mine is a police officer. Drop him off wherever. It's nothing nobody can do. It's a wrap for him. What you think this boy gonna do?
And some have simply been shown how to behave in an ignorant way. So that's also
from an elder
behind
ignorant.
The smoking gun.
From an elder ignorant.
Exactly. Some of them have been shown that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the whole purpose of this interview is to, in class, what we're doing is we're trying to design a system that will aid the city of St. Louis in maybe predicting some of these homicides. That way we can maybe in turn cut down on some of them. Could you guys, I don't know, maybe provide any I'm gonna leave this open. Any more information that will maybe help us come up with this system? Any other kind of information?
I think that if the police department became more involved, as well as Urban League, folks from Urban League and United Way, as well as community leaders, if they all would get together and simultaneously begin to put organizations together where they could reach these young men and women.
Okay.
Like a community outreach.
Exactly.
Really
and it has to come from all these different entities. It can't just come from the police. It just can't come from community leaders. Everybody has to be active. Even if you even going outside the realm and start going into your church leaders as well as your firemen and whatever, it's something. Because there's
like,
some out here.
It go back to that saying, like it takes a community to raise a
child.
A village to raise a child.
So I think that if we begin to put more of these programs in play where they could speak to our young youth and catch them as young as preschool,
from start, head start,
K through 7, junior high up through high school, that could lessen the possibility and chances of a lot of these young folks losing their lives in the future.
It's like a constant education.
I was gonna say it might sound cliche, but education is really the key. Like educating,
part of the education,
right? Exactly. Educating the people all around. Even though like some of these guys don't have fathers in their home, or where they don't have anybody to really look up to like that. Even their mothers, say their mother's on crack or doing some different things, and their father gone. Right. And they really have nobody to look up to. That's need reality. Like the mentorship. And this mentorship program around here, but we need something that's gonna like hit hard, something that's really gonna make an impact. That's gonna kind of like do like what you would do to a fiend, somebody who a fiend for crack or heroin.
Yeah, what they call
it's like you just gotta do like
the family, like the
intervention, like a big intervention needs to take place.
Intervention.
Because if you want to predict, where like the most murders gonna happen, you can go. It's gonna be in the places where it's dilapidated. You know, it's going to be in the places where, like in the city of St. Louis, a lot of the schools closed down, lost their accreditation.
Right. You go up the street, that school boarded all up. Like, why can't we get help?
In front of a vacant house right now. So you don't know what's up in there.
Right up the street, it's a school at the end of the block where it's like, and we know what's going on in vacant houses, but everybody else don't know that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Exactly. And it's a lot of dirt and a lot of things going on in there. That school up the street boarded all up. What's happening with that land? What's happening with the kids who were there? You know, if you can go back in time and look, okay, where are these people? You know,
right? They dead or in jail. Like it was somebody. Like,
but why we can't open the community center there? We ain't got enough grants, enough funding.
We should be able to get those type of grants to be able to form organizations like that.
And then what you're doing too is another thing. Like starting this is a good way to do it. The schools need to know people who not in this community need to know that. They need to really be able to have some empathy and know what's going on outside of their self when they not dealing with that. Outside of their community.
Absolutely. I got to thank you guys. That is very useful information. This adds a lot to what we're doing. I gotta tell you, I appreciate it. That's very helpful in what we're doing there. You guys have been real helpful.
It's all love.
Really. Thanks a lot. I'm sure the class appreciates it too.
Get some barbecue Oviana chips.
Plug.